Dear gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful Lord's Day. We thank you for the blessings of life, Lord. Lord, we ask you to go with us tonight during this meeting for the town of Bronson. We ask you to lead, guide, and direct us, and that everything we do will be faithful in your eyes. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and we will get started. First of all, we need to do roll call. We have Curtis is back there in the back. Miss Mindy is with us. Miss Sue is here. Mr. Tyler is here. Mr. Franklin is here. I am here. Miss Virginia is here. Miss Sherry is here. And our illustrious even more tonight. So, Dennis. Yes. Won't be there real quick. To let the public know, Dennis is not going to be here tonight. Our fire chief, his father passed away last week, so he is dealing with that right this morning. And while I'm talking about that right now, I'd like to put Aaron Everson on our prayer list, please. He is in the hospital. Our past councilman here is having some medical issues, and we, again, keep him in your prayers and the family too, please. Okay. With that being said, we will, y'all have a chance to look at the agenda. We'll accept the motion for approval.
Move approval of the agenda.
I second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the May 1st, 2023 Town Council meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes from the May 1st Town Council meeting.
That's it.
Properly moved and seconded again. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the minutes for the May 15th Town Council meeting.
I make a motion that we pass that we approve the minutes from May 15, 2023.
I second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. All right, public participation tonight. Do we have anything anybody wants to talk about? We just had 30 minutes of it, so. All right. The next on our agenda is the announcement has already been given, these scholarships, but we just wanted to bring them to the public's attention. And this is for the 2023 scholarship awards to, first of all, Miss Christine Porter. Now we're gonna have them to come up. Yes. Miss Shelby Strickland. And I'm going to butcher this, I know. Miss Ingrid Valquez and what? All right, Shelby.
Ingrid Velasquez Guadalajara.
That is a whole mouthful right there. I want you to know.
Girl power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. These are the scholarships that we give out annually to graduating class. Thank you, sir.
You want to stand with them?
Yeah.
Heavy work.
You're so beautiful, Tyler.
It's hard to do.
Bring it. Mission impossible.
Okay, here we go. I'm not off here. Here we are. Do 3 shots, okay? This one's 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Jared, get one more.
Jeff's up in front of me, so I gotta do it this week.
But Terry, just think I didn't step back and step on your feet.
All right, this is the annual scholarship that we give out to each qualified person for $1,000. Okay?
Congratulations.
Congratulations to all three of them. All right, next thing on the agenda is the announcement for the Student of the Month for April. And Miss Virginia is going to have the honor of bringing these two up. We have Mark, here we go again.
Morazzo. And he is nominated by Donna King.
And Sarah Taylor.
She's not here.
She's not here, and we have one more coming, and he's running a little bit late. He was at basketball practice, and it did not end till 6. But
You can do this one.
Who is that then?
Freddie Friedman.
Freddie and Jennifer Mark.
Is Jennifer here? Not here?
Not here? Okay. Well, you getting the whole bar away. All right.
Stand in front of the podium, baby. Stand in front.
Yeah.
There you go. Now
All
face
right,
her.
Miss Virginia.
She gonna get some pictures. You gonna get some pictures too.
Yep. She got your certificate. She had to get the right one out.
hold that. This is what counts.
Yeah, that's what money. That's okay.
Congratulations.
You're gonna need one more.
Sorry.
It's okay. Terry got you all warmed up. You ready? Everybody's happy. One, two more. One more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, if Frank gets here, we'll do his also when he gets here, and the other two recipients will receive their awards. Two of them do.
I'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out some way.
Okay, the informational items. Next on the agenda is our next town council meeting. Will be here on the 20th of June.
Okay, so I put that for discussion because I want to talk about that, if you guys don't mind. So we can't have it on Monday, June 19th, because that is Juneteenth, which we are now observing. So that's why I put it for June 20th. However, I am going on vacation starting this week on the 8th, and I will not be back in town until the 19th. So I'm proposing, we can do one of two things. We can still have it on the 20th, which is fine. I won't have a lot of time to put anything together, but we could do a couple of things, like we could put the RVP that we just had the public hearing on, and I was thinking we may have ABM come and give a status update, and then the third thing I could put on there would be to revisit the impact fees, go back to ordinance 2301. So that's an option if we just want to keep it light and do a couple things that we've, revisiting. Or we can bump the meeting to the following Monday, which would be the 26th. And the reason Wendy and I were kind of throwing this back and forth is because then the first meeting in July is July 3rd, which of course is right before July 4th, which is a Tuesday. What we did last time when the Veterans Day, when we were responsible for the Veterans Day parade, which was a Tuesday, we gave the entire staff that Monday off, and then they ended up working on Tuesday on Veterans Day because we needed them to come in and help with that. So we may end up doing that again, but we could just do the 26th, and then we could skip it and do July 10th and July 24th because there are 5 Mondays in July. So it's entirely up to you guys. It's just I'm not going to be here to really put anything together. That's the biggest issue.
That will still take care of our 2 meetings for the month.
We'd still have 2 no matter what. It's just July, because there's 5 Mondays. We could either do the 3rd or whatever and the 17th, or we could do the 10th and the 24th, and it would still now put us 2 weeks apart. Because whenever there's 5 Mondays, like there were 5 Mondays in May.
Anybody got any problem moving to the following month?
The only thing I have is I would have to be via Zoom because I won't be here on the 26th. I'll
Okay.
be in Orlando in a training.
Okay.
But I should be able to get online.
Okay. Could you do the 10th and the 24th if we move July's to the 10th and the 24th? Are those both okay?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have any issues with doing that? We do. So again, to recap, that would be Monday, June 26th, Monday, July 10th, and Monday, July 24th. Then we'd be back on schedule for August. It would still be 2 weeks apart. August 7th and August 21st are both Mondays. If that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
You said 26th, 10th, and 24th?
Yep. So they'd still be 2 weeks apart, except for right now we'd go 3 weeks. till the next meeting, so I can put something together for you for the 26th.
Probably wise if you're accepting that for somebody to make a motion, just as a formality.
Entertain a motion on that.
I'll make a motion that we move our second meeting this month to the 26th of June, then bump July's first meeting and second meeting back a week from their original planned date.
I second.
All right. Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. We will have meetings on the 26th of June, July the 10th, and July the 24th.
Perfect.
6 o'clock here at the City Hall.
You got it.
All right, Ms. Sue, you have the podium.
Okay, so, go ahead.
Oh, never mind. That's still Tuesday the 20th. What was that? Oh, wait, never mind. I don't know. I messed up. We have a public hearing on the 20th about a comprehensive plan.
No,
That's the one.
that's getting. We're going to delete that because we're actually going through North Central Florida Regional Planning Council. They're going to take that over. Thank you for reminding me. I need to get that off the list, though. Thank you. That was what, the 20th?
20th, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So first up is opening of bids for construction engineering inspection services for FDOT SCOP grant fiscal year 2022 Wilson Avenue Road reconstruction project. So again, just for the public, we have a SCOP grant to pave Wilson Avenue from Hathaway up to the curb. Last Tuesday, the bids were due for the construction portion of the grant. We received 4 companies that bid, ranging from a low of $441,000 to a high of $1.5 million. It is 4,600 square yards long. So as you can imagine, we were shocked when we saw those numbers. Not shocked, I mean, Mid-Tower's been seeing this just because of the cost of asphalt and the cost of everything being so high. So now we're trying to figure out what to do with that. We're probably going to have to go back to bid for construction. So this portion of the grant was due today. So last week's the construction was due on Tuesday. The CEI, the construction engineering inspection, was due today at 4:30. We only received 1 bid, and I didn't even have time to photocopy it, so I apologize, but it came in literally at 4:30, and then we had our public hearing at 5. So we received 1 bid for that. It is from North Florida Professional Services, Inc. This does not have cost or anything in it. That gets negotiated with Mid-Tower, with our engineer. So when I talked to them at 4:45 today, they said all we need to do, we don't, obviously, I went in and I gave you ranking sheets today, but we don't need to use those since there's not multiple companies that bid. So you guys can just go ahead and accept this bid since there's only 1 of them. And I can pass it around if you guys want to take a look at it, because I didn't get a chance to photocopy.
And this is just the engineering part of everything.
It's the people that basically oversee the construction.
Okay, on the bids that you did receive, the variance, is that the reason for having to redo it?
Well, because the whole grant is $343,000, I think. Mid-Tower gets a portion of that, 40,000, whatever it is. They're going to get a portion of that, roughly 40,000. So we were hoping that the bids were going to come in somewhere around $250,000. So we're about $200,000 higher than we need to be. But that's not surprising. I mean, Mid-Tower, they've been warning me that this was probably going to happen. Everything that they have been bidding has been happening for the last, I don't know, year, whatever, all this inflation stuff. So
Asphalt prices are ridiculous.
right, exactly. And you got to remember, we wrote this grant, I don't know, 3 years ago, pre-COVID, pre-crazy. So.
Does this road go all the way out, David?
Say it again?
How far does it go?
To the curve. Right to the curve.
To
Yeah.
the curve?
Yeah.
Well, that much money.
For the $1.5 million, I almost fell off my chair. I mean, literally, I almost fell off my chair. It's not even that long of a road. It's crazy. So.
Okay.
But like I said, we can, if you guys want to, we can accept this one, or if you want to go back out to bid, you can. But again, this doesn't have any dollar figures in it because that's all negotiated with Mid-Tower.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
You say the bid you got there just for the overseeing of the construction.
But if they don't have a price on it, how can you accept it? You know, if you accept it, then they'll say, okay, well, our price is.
Again, we don't have
instead of
to.
down here.
Right, we don't have to. We can hold off if you guys want to hold off. We don't have to do it tonight. It's entirely up to you guys.
Tell them to figure out a price for mid tower, then see where we're at.
Yeah. You don't need some price on it.
Well, if you're not gonna build a road, you don't need this, because right now, we're just $200,000 off being able to build it.
Right now. So like I said, if you want to hold off, we certainly can. I mean,
That's a heck of a thing to say, we got a grant
well, you got to remember, things were very different 3 years ago. I mean,
for,
And it's not possible to change it to other roads, is it?
Nothing that we did do.
we have been working with the county to do the rest of it, but I don't know whether they would even under those circumstances,
Right.
because they would want to.
Right.
It's kind of,
yeah, it's crazy.
crazy.
Let's see if we could get a dollar figure from them, tell them to negotiate with mid tower and see.
You want a dollar figure first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that doesn't have a dollar amount on it.
Okay.
That ain't a bid.
No. That's just their qualifications.
Okay, so we'll hold off.
Yeah. Don't we make a motion to table it? I make a motion to table the bid.
Properly moved and seconded, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried. Table that.
Table that. All right. All right, next up is second reading of ordinance 23-02, an ordinance of the town of Bronson to effect a voluntary annexation of property and change the boundaries of the town of Bronson accordingly. So just to remind everybody, because I know we've been working on this for 9 months now, Bo Bernard and Candace Cox came before the council on September 6th of last year, asking to voluntarily annex their property into town limits. Their property is adjacent to state property, which in turn is adjacent to our property, and there's a state statute that says that they're allowed to do that if they want, and they do want to voluntarily annex in. We had to notify the county, so I sent a certified letter to County Coordinator Wilbur Dean back on April 20th, and then we had to notice the ordinance in the newspaper. It was actually published on Thursday, May 11th and Thursday, May 25th. So this is the second reading. If this passes today, that he would be annexed into the town limits.
All right, pleasure to council.
Mayor, can I suggest that you just technically open the meeting to the public for any comments?
Sure.
It's the second reading.
Anybody, any questions or anything?
Where's this annexing going to? Where's it at?
Off 27 going to Williston.
Explain where exactly.
Okay, how far is it going back that way to Wilson?
You know-
There's a lot of houses, that's past your house.
Just
Right there.
Right behind his house.
Behind his house.
So they will get you included this time.
No, I didn't.
Because last time we were talking about that and you couldn't get in there. But this house is further back that way, that should be in there.
Yeah, all those houses are adjacent to the state property. Just my house and Bo Cox's house.
That's the only two that qualify.
Curtis still can, if he wants to. He still can. Yes.
Okay, you can if you
This
want.
is just for Bo's, but yes, Curtis could do one as well. Yes.
Okay, if nobody else has any questions, I will entertain a motion on this.
We just need a motion, that's it. To accept.
Yeah, to accept the second reading.
I make a motion, we accept the second reading of the ordinance.
It has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried.
All right, next is resolution number 23-11. This is regarding a delinquent utility payment for 667 Davis Street. So on this property, the owner was sent a certified letter explaining the balance that was due on May 11th. This particular letter and all of Heather Neal's recent utility bills going back at least 6 months have been returned as undeliverable. She is the owner of the property. I don't know if she was living there or not. I don't know if it was a tenant. But she is the owner of the property, and she owes us $736.80 right now, and so I'm recommending that we place a lien on her property.
Motion to put lien on 667 Davis Street.
I have a
I
question.
second.
I have a question. We are still cut. We're like she's count's cut off completely, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's not going to accrue anything else, but
Yeah,
we
that's
still
what I
don't
was
have any
making
way
sure
to
it's
get...
not going to be in every 3 months. We got to redo it.
Correct, nope.
All right, I have a motion.
I think Virginia
We did.
second. Virginia
Yes,
second.
yes, yes. She said.
And I have a second, and any other discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried.
Okay. Resolution number 23-12. So here's the story on this one. Sarah Hull sent a certified letter regarding her delinquent utility payments on May 11th, same day as Heather Neal's. Nothing has been returned undeliverable on this particular property. This is 20 E Avenue, and Sarah Hull right now owes us $208.60. So again, recommending a lien on the property.
Motion to put a lien on 20 Issue Avenue.
I second.
Properly again. Any other question? All right, been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried.
Okay, and then the last one for today is resolution number 23-13. This is owned by the Wombles. Same thing, sent a certified letter regarding their delinquent account on May 11th. Not returned as undeliverable. We haven't received any undeliverable mail for 535 North Court Street. However, they are the owners of the property. The property is homesteaded, and right now they owe us $300.13, recommending a lien on their property.
Make a motion to accept resolution 23-14.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried.
Does anyone live in any of these properties?
Okay, so the first one, Heather Neal, like I said, she's the owner, but it's not
Yeah,
homesteaded. I don't know. The last two, these are homesteaded. I believe they live in them, to the best of my knowledge. Because, like I said, their mail's not getting kicked back as undeliverable.
Okay.
They're just not paying it.
That's all I just-
No, they're just not paying it.
So they're living in these houses without water?
Unless they have a well.
They could have a well, and it could be the minimum issue.
Gotcha.
Did anybody do any well check on them? They could be in there. Because that,
We
you
could.
know, one of them I know are real elderly people,
Oh,
so that's why I was asking.
okay. We can do that. Okay, next up is resolution number 23-14. I'm going to read this one in its entirety just because of what it's about. This is a resolution approving entry into and participation in the interlocal agreement relating to establishment of the Wakasasa Water and Wastewater Cooperative. Whereas Bronson is a critical part of the Levy County community and has an abiding interest in maintaining the highest standards of water and sewer service and facilities management, and whereas documented studies have shown that a regional cooperative for water and wastewater would be beneficial to all concerned, improve service, encourage development, and stabilize costs, and whereas the new authority known as the Wakasasa Water and Wastewater Cooperative needs to come into existence as an entity by way of statutorily authorized interlocal agreement in order for the funding and planning activities at the state level to proceed, and whereas Council to Bronson, in conjunction with others, has prepared an agreement establishing the Wakasasa Water and Wastewater Cooperative as a vehicle for realizing the regional objectives for water and wastewater facilities of an improved quality for the present and foreseeable future. Now, therefore, in consideration of the premises recited, the public interest and the interests of the citizens and residents of the town of Bronson, it is resolved that number one, the town of Bronson is authorized to enter into the attached, which is follows in your packet, Wakasasa Water and Wastewater Cooperative Agreement, and the mayor is authorized accordingly to execute and deliver same to parties in interest. Number two, the agreement may be subject to editing for technical changes by council, but no substantial alteration may or shall be made from the text of the attached draft that is specifically approved by this town council. Number three, once the agreement is executed by all parties, the responsible officers of the town of Bronson are authorized and directed to perform same in accordance with its terms and to participate fully and effectually in the work of the new cooperative and the attainment of its functional objectives. Number 4, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon its passage, execution, and attestations as shown below. Duly presented, moved, and adopted with a quorum present of the Town Council of the Town of Bronson this 5th day of June 2023. And again, I just added that to your packet today, but the draft of the interlocal agreement is in your packet, so that would be signed, assuming we move forward, by the Town of Bronson, the Town of Otter Creek, and Cedar Key Water and Sewer District.
Before they vote on it, can I ask some question? Because I wasn't at the meeting. They had, I think you all had a meeting last week.
Yep.
And I know, I guess I got a lot of questions. Okay, Walker Sass is going to take over the whole corporation, right? Bronson will no longer have Bronson Water. It would be this Walker Sass agreement thing, right?
No, we will be joining the cooperative.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And
You'll
they
be joining.
will be able to supply us with water.
So,
Okay.
so
We won't be pumping our own
the way
water,
it was
correct?
explained
Huh?
to
We won't be
us-
pumping our own water.
But we will have the option to maintain our water supply in our pumping ability.
Okay, I understand that.
The way it was explained to us, Ms. B, is that, so the pipeline will go out and from one spot to another spot will belong to Bronson on the pipeline. Then from that spot to another spot is going to belong to Otter Creek. From that spot to another spot is going to belong to the next town. So that's how we'll still be in control of our water.
Okay, if that's so, what is Walker Sass getting out of it? The corporation, what are they getting? If this part is going to be Bronson, the next one Otter Creek, the next one Cedar Key. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
If you get water out of that big pipe, you have to buy it from the cooperative.
That's what I'm talking about. So why would Bronson want to buy water when you already got water? And one of my next questions is, okay, we know our water source is the main source of income for Bronson. It's our water. So how are we going to get paid?
Nothing is going to change.
Oh, something's going to change.
No, ma'am.
If a corporation comes in, believe me, there is something's going to change.
Here's the best way I know to just explain this, how this works. We are buying water from ourselves right now. It costs us to pump it. It costs us to maintain it. It costs us to have a licensed person here to do that. All that costs money. If you have the ability to do, everything's going to be moving this way anyway. I mean, this is just the way of the future, okay? And that is where everybody's in a large conglomerate situation here where it can be, and the state of Florida is pushing us that way, and they're trying to get rid of septic systems. Everything's trying to move that way. And also the next thing is, when you look into the sewer system part of it, is, and I'm getting away from your question, and I'm sorry. And there's so many factors to this thing that makes
And
this
I
a
know,
doable
because I think
thing
Sue
for
had
us.
put in for a grant for
Right.
like $13 million for the sewer system.
Yes,
so
that's in
I'm
there.
not even into it, but you know.
Okay, and to help you with this, to put your mind at rest on
It
this.
won't be a race, but
Okay, well, I'm looking towards the future for the town of Bronson. What this does for us is this here. It gives us the ability to maintain a proper clean water source for the near future, right on and on. Just, it gives us the opportunity to grow. I feel like growth is inevitable. It's coming.
Right.
We're seeing it every day. We've never
Okay,
seen
let
this
me
many
ask you
houses
something
being
before you
built.
go any further.
So,
Who's going to set the prices for the water? Okay,
We
you
are.
got this
We
corporation.
will
Now,
have
The city of Bronson.
well, okay, and that's understandable. You set your own. But if you're having, because I think you said once they put in for $110 million grant,
Yes.
but this whole project could cost at least $3 to $4 million.
100 million.
100.
You're right, 300 to 400 million, but they only put in for that much of a grant. So now you're looking at $200 to $300 million that this corporation is going to look to bring their money back to them. So that's why I'm wondering, when is the town going to start benefiting from this because that corporation, being the corporation, they're gonna get theirs first. And that's what I'm trying to.
I failed to see your question in how you're trying to explain it to me, but here, I'll try to tell you how this has been explained to us, okay? And I've said in all these meetings, tomorrow, for instance, there's a county commissioners meeting tomorrow. This will all be explained again tomorrow. It'll be done in, I'm sorry you missed that one the other day, but all the financial questions were explained. And I felt like it was pretty well covered. Did y'all feel comfortable with all that stuff? So,
Yes.
the future is what we're trying to prepare ourselves for. If we had to replace, we don't have the capacity. Curtis helped me here with this. Now that we're back up to speed here with our well system, which we just replaced, our capacity is pretty much.
We haven't reached our capacity total, but both wells, if they run correctly, we could add more homes. Our sewer system, we are probably 35% with our sewer system. But the upkeep of our sewer system, the upgrades of our sewer system, and I think what's confusing, a lot of people is that they hear us talk about changing out meters, doing all this other stuff for a water system that in maybe 5 or 10 years that we're not going to be using. And I heard him explain, because I asked a question about the well, where the well's going to be. Everything's going to be going west from towards the well. That they're going to be pumping water going west, which would be Arctic City going that direction. Nothing will be coming back this way from the well.
Where's the well going to be?
They haven't decided. I don't know where they will. But I think there's some things that was confusing, is that where the well is where it's going to be. Because a lot of people probably was thinking that they're going to hook to our water system, and that we pumping water, and we're going to be pumping water from our system to City Key. It's not going to be. We're not going to be using our water system. They're going to put in a whole new well system, and they're going to pump water from that well system. Now, how we are incorporated in that,
But on the financial part, this is so that what the gentleman said was that originally we have to apply for a state revolving fund, SRF, and then that will cover a portion.
You gotta apply for it, but
Yes,
then
ma'am.
if they say no,
Yes, ma'am, but what they were saying is that you have to apply for it months in advance. So everything that we have to do now is not even going to be thought about until the end of this year, probably. And then, so after the SRF is funded, then you have the AWS, which is the alternative water supply. They cover the remainder. So initially, it's pretty much going to be paid for if those go through.
Well, if the
But that's
question is
information
if,
I got.
and to be not to be on the negative side here,
no,
but
and
we're
I don't
talking
want
about
to be negative,
$110
but I,
million
I've been here all
input
my
into the
life,
community.
and I just,
And Brett, listen, the water does not belong to the town of Bronson.
no, it
It
don't
belongs to the
belong to
state of
anybody,
Florida.
but the infrastructure does.
We're not changing
but that's-
this.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
It's just
Why
like
it is.
it's going to. How is it going to affect us? It's going to prepare us for the future. Okay, it's going to give us the opportunity to expand. We will still have our system. We will still have our own water system.
Let me
We
ask
will
you another
still
question.
be charging the same way.
If you decide after they get it up and running, if you decide in a year, couple of years, we don't like this, can
You
you
can pull out.
You vote
get
out.
out?
You vote out.
Although you
We
done
will
lost all
have-
your money.
There will
you know,
be
but-
a city. There will.
You didn't put no money in
You
it.
didn't put no money in it.
Oh, you don't put some in.
No, ma'am.
Let me clarify something, because I asked this question of the powers that be. If we don't get, I say we, if the town of Bronson doesn't get full funding or isn't completely satisfied that they're getting everything underwritten by the state, they have a back door. They can walk out and go right back to where they started. That much was clarified by, what's his name, Leroy? The fellow who was here, who was
Engineer.
very, very knowledgeable about the whole thing and basically in charge of it. So that to me is the most important thing. There's $105 million involved. If $105 million doesn't do it, or if they can only get 104 and somebody says, we want the extra million, Bronson can say, no thank you. The only basis that we got into this was that it was going to be entirely funded by the state. And again, if it doesn't work out down the line, Bronson can leave at any time. There are 3 component entities in this. And in order for anything to be done, they have to vote for it. So Bronson is always going to have a representative on the board of this agency as another safety net. That's the way it's designed.
Do they get to choose which one of the council people is on?
Absolutely.
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 There's only one per city.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So just to clarify, where exactly does this water come from? Like they're just gonna put a
And
well?
I don't mean to be facetious about this, ma'am, but it comes out of the ground.
No, I mean,
Where
I heard the word pipeline.
Yeah, where it's going to
So-
come from, I cannot tell you that. And the reason why I cannot tell you that is because I don't know. It's
Yeah.
going to be somewhere in the Bronson.
The local.
Local, yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere
The reason why-
this side of 27.
Okay,
The
so it's
reason
not
why-
water being brought by a pipeline from
The
somewhere
reason
else.
why.
It ain't
is
coming
this.
from Gainesville or nothing like that. They're gonna put a well somewhere this side of
Plain
27.
and simple. We have great water on this side of Bronson.
Yes.
If you go on this side of Bronson, not so great. Okay. If you've never had the opportunity, I challenge you to go to Florida Creek and try some of theirs. Or
You
Cedar
got to
Key.
drink it, just look at it.
Yeah, just look at
Look at
it.
it.
It'll
Fill the
stand.
glass.
It does not look like this. Okay, I promise.
Mayor, can I suggest that you clarify one other thing?
Yes,
Ain't gonna run out of water. It's
No.
not as though it's a limited supply.
that's right.
Okay.
So.
And I think, what did they say? They spend $150,000 a year in chemicals in
Chemicals.
Cedar Key
Cedar Key.
just to have.
And Curtis can.
Not
put
good.
everything that he uses
Bottom
out
of
there.
your water.
And I understand that, but is that Bronson problem?
No, but.
You know,
but-
I understand totally
and
what
to
you're
answer
saying,
your
but
question,
you know,
that,
it's-
and again, not to challenge you on that, I understand that. But wouldn't it be nice to help somebody that needed it? I would
always
love to be,
nice.
I would love, I want
I would
everybody.
love to see Bronson help Bronson too.
And
First.
listen, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get us, and like I said, it's got to be a win-win situation for Bronson. The town of Newberry right now is replacing their sewer system. And the cost of it is, like I said, Mr. Horner, do you remember what it was, like $45 million for them to replace their sewer system? It's just beyond our comprehension, okay? It is beyond our scope. Yeah, go ahead.
The difference is the town of Newberry is growing exponentially. every
Yes,
year.
exactly.
So
And
$45 million.
and they have got
is probably
to.
$45 when you talk about the amount of growth in the
Right.
city of Newberry. So
But
you can't-
again-
can't make that comparison if you're not trying.
Again,
to
it's
make
looking,
improvement.
we're looking for the ability to go there if we can. And I'm not using this as a question, but it was a topic of discussion here not too terribly long ago, and that was the turnpike extension. If that had came through here, we'd been standing here going, oh, Lord, what are we going to do? Because I've seen what it does to other places. I'm not saying pro or con on that, I'm just saying the what if. And the other question is, let's don't be naive about this. The state of Florida is still growing. That don't mean people will stop coming here. So the problem still exists, and it's going to still persist, and it's going to be challenged down the road. Get ready. So, and that's all. That, like I say, tomorrow, if you want to at 9 o'clock, it will be presented again.
A knee appointment in the morning.
So,
Mayor, one question, Jeff Hardison. Given, if you all do have a motion and a second and we pass this resolution, is that it? Or is there have to be a second hearing or what?
No, we enter into the agreement,
Just
but
enter into
the agreements can be terminated at any time. circumstances don't eventuate the way they're supposed to.
This is what they have to have in order to apply for the money from the state. So in order for us to apply for the grant and to get to the next step, the cooperative has to be formed. So that's basically what this is.
It's a $105 million resolution. is what it boils down to.
Terry,
How does this help you to create the future?
Because we can't pay for the sewer.
I mean, how are they going to help pay for the sewer?
So it's like, for example, if we get water through them and the system belongs to them, if it breaks, they gotta fix it. We don't gotta fix it.
No, your system still belongs to you.
All of our inner working piping does, yes.
Pardon me?
I said all of our inner working piping throughout the town still belongs to us.
Are we
yes.
overlooking that they're planning on building a brand new sewer plant?
That's what I was fixing to say. They're going to They're going to build a new spray field and all that.
all that's gonna be new. All of our system that we spend all the money that we do on right now, all that'll be set us, we won't have to spend the money on the sewer system, the upkeeps and all that other stuff that we've had to do in the past and are still dealing with. All we do now is just turn the switch on. So we say, that's their problem.
I think you're going to have to maintain your own sewer system and water system inside the city limits. Correct?
We're talking about two different things here. We're talking about a system, sewer system, or a plant is one thing. Our piping is a totally different thing.
They still belong to you. These pipes still belong to you.
Yes, yes. That's not going to change.
Where's that money coming from to do that?
We just apply
Impact
for another
fees.
grant to get that.
So you're just depending on grants to.
Hey, we can't afford it. I don't have $14 million. Down in Bronson doesn't.
The math is a little fuzzy because you don't exactly know how everything's going to work.
That's exactly right. And the reason why I don't know is because I don't have all the answers to all these questions. And the reason why is because you've got to start somewhere, and you got to prepare for the future somewhere and sometime. If you wait till the future's here, then you've waited too late.
So if it comes back and we don't get the funding and we don't whatever, we just withdraw from the cooperative.
Yeah,
All this is saying that we want to be a part of this. And then if it comes back and it say they only get half the money and they say, hey, Bronson got to pay $2 million to be a part of this. We say, okay, good. No, thank you. We don't want to do this.
What they said, the first phase was going to be engineering anyway, so that's how they'll actually figure out how everything's
How it's
going to work.
So we're asking questions right now that they really can't answer because we ain't at that stage.
Because the engineering will do it for free, so you got to give them some money to figure out how it's going to work.
I think the only way we could really ask questions and answer questions is to ask Fannin Springs and Cross City because they just had this done. This exact same thing. They just didn't have the sewer part done, but they just had the water range.
There's a lot of unanswered questions.
There are, but that's the reason why Mr. Warren
You know,
asked in the meeting.
we have been doing these meetings constantly to gather stuff to get to where we are right at this moment. I don't even know how.
Let me say one other thing because I think it's relevant. I don't want to play an advocate for this or anything like that, but you need to know this. The state has made it obvious they want that regionalization is important, that they think it's for the overall benefit of the state and its future growth and so forth. And they will bend over backwards to make this work. We know that. We can assure that.
So right now, there's just big gaps in our knowledge about how this works.
So we can't get to that if you don't do this. Like if we don't form the cooperative, we can't get to those answers because we're not at that point yet.
Right.
So all we're agreeing to now is to join in with the other cities to ask for this money to see if we can move forward. It doesn't like lock us into it and say, yes, you're still talking about something that may be 5 years from now. So right now we're just forming a cooperative and applying to see if we can get money to even do anything, how it works. And if it comes back and we can't, we say, okay, never mind, we don't want to do that.
Very well said.
Very well said. Another question that has come up by several things is, okay, where's the money going to come for this cooperative to get started? You know, there's charges, there's fees, there's attorney fees and everything. They feel so much positive about this that they're going to give us, and that they have made this statement. I don't know how true this will be. Of course, that's another question that's not been answered. But we know for a fact that we have startup money.
Where you say that's coming from?
They gonna apply for it.
No, Swanee River Water
Somewhere.
Management.
Is willing to fund 4 years of this, right off the top. Just right at you.
So they're gonna build a well and a wastewater plant this way.
Cooperative, well, yeah.
This one.
Somewhere.
But somewhere between ours now and back that way, right?
It ain't gonna be on that side of 27. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be on this side of 27. It's going to
It's gonna be on that side of
the
27.
Sand Hill side. Where the good work is.
Okay, like going toward Archer.
Yes.
What about the wastewater facility?
Pardon me?
They don't know where that's gonna be till they engineer it.
it.
But we will be able to tap into that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds good because we do need growth. I mean, I'm working with my friend now to, when she gets back from vacation, we'll be setting up the appointment for the family daughter to come into town. And, you know, it's one of these things that the town needs access to sewer and water, and we're going to need it.
Well, the only thing I say is we're working towards it, trying to get it done. And this is just one cog in the wheel. So, and that's,
This is not set in stone. I mean, this is just looking for opportunities.
all right, and we need to vote on this tonight. All right, I will entertain a motion for resolution
A motion to go forward with this.
Resolution 23-14.
Yes, sir.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carries. All right.
Sorry, I have some hard ones tonight, I know. All right, next up is fire assessment. We need to talk about what we want to do for the upcoming fiscal year. So just to get the public up to speed. So in 22-23, our current fiscal year, of course, we did a feasibility study last year. We passed a fire assessment. Right now, the rates are as such. Residents pay $129 per dwelling unit. Non-residential, which is commercial, is 2 cents per square foot, and vacant land is $8 per parcel. So the company that's maintaining the fire assessment for us came back a few weeks ago and asked me if we wanted to confirm if we wanted to use the same rates. So I went back to him and I said, well, if we decide to change the rates, do we have to do a new feasibility study? Because the feasibility study cost us $32,000. So of course I'm not excited about doing that. And he said, changing the rates but staying with the same apportionment does not require a new study. And then there's some dates in terms of, we have to do public hearings and all these sort of things like we did in the past. So I just wanted to bring it before the council to see if you guys are happy with the rates as is. I don't have a figure, but I did reach out to Michelle Langford, the property appraiser, today to try and figure out exactly how much we've gotten.
Michelle, tax collector.
Did I say Michelle? Did I say tax collector? Thank
You
you.
said property appraiser.
I meant tax collector. Thank you.
Sorry for cutting you off.
That's okay. No. Just find out exactly how much we've gotten. She was going to do some figuring and get back to me. So I don't know that number off the top of my head right now, but I will get it to you. But again, I just wanted to put it before the council to see if you guys are okay with these rates, and I can go back and tell them yes, or if you want to look at doing something different.
Yeah, I'm okay with staying at the same
Stay the
rates for
same?
now.
Yeah, leave it.
Okay. You want to do a vote just for
Yeah.
the record?
Make a motion to keep the fire assessment rates as they were last year.
I second.
Properly moved to second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried.
Let's do one more.
Yes, once you go ahead and finish
Yeah.
this, and then when you get through this, I'll in between these.
Okay. All right. Just the next portion. Okay, so I've been to a couple of conferences since we last met. One was the insurance summit put on by FMIT in Fort Myers. I just wanted, and again, some of this is just for the audience too, because there's some crazy things that are going on in the state of Florida right now. I gave you guys the the keynote speaker his slides so you can kind of take a look at what we talked about. There's a couple in there I wanted you guys to see in particular. If you look at slide number 4, it shows you the catastrophic losses over like the last, this is again for the U.S., but since 1980. And 9/11 obviously was tragic, but that was $40 billion was the loss that year. Katrina, Rita, and Wilma, which was 2005, was $85 billion. Again, this is U.S., adjusted for inflation. And then 2017, when Harvey, Irma, and Maria hit, was $112 billion. So triple what was the World Trade Center when that happened for 9/11. So a couple of the kind of takeaways that I wanted people to know about is they were saying that this is the worst property market in 40 years. Worse than 9/11, worse than Katrina. And what they pointed to is that really between 2009 and 2017, up until Harvey, Irma, and Maria, we really didn't have any major losses. And then, of course, we've had a ton in the last 5 years. They mentioned there's competing bad forces. You had Hurricane Ian, pandemic, inflation. And what's probably the biggest thing biggest takeaway is, so I'm a licensed insurance agent, a lot of you know that. I've been licensed for 13 years. When I worked for USAA, we used to tell people, because people used to complain about their auto insurance rates increasing all the time and their homeowners insurance rates increasing all the time. And we used to say that, Florida's one of 50 states, but we account for 50% of the losses in the country. One state, 50% of the losses. So all the other 49 states combined make up 50%. And one of the other things I learned here was that 67% of global losses occur in the U.S. So this country alone is 2/3 of all of the catastrophes in the world. And again, Florida is the most challenging of all of the states in the U.S. So Florida is a major problem for insurance companies. And as you guys know, there's a lot of insurance companies that are going under. They've been pulling out of Florida. Inflation, they talked about, if you constructed a building 5 years ago, it would cost $1 million. Now it's $1.5 million. 5 years later, it's $1.5 million. And over the last 5 years, every dollar in premium that these companies are taking in is resulting in $2.50 going out in losses. So basically, everybody should be sitting down and planning for about a 50% increase in their homeowners policies this year across the state of Florida. This is everybody. I mean, obviously, including the town. So, we've got some. We're bracing.
We got some budget work to do.
We've got some real issues coming forward, yeah. So I just wanted people to know that, because I don't think a lot of people understand what Florida's like and why we are where we are. But that's really why. I mean, we account for a lot of the losses here in this country. So 50%, whatever you paid in homeowners insurance last year, add 50%, and that's probably what your renewal is going to come in at this year.
Yeah, they already approved 40%, and they're asking for a 10% increase, which more than likely the wonderful insurance commissioner of ours will give to them.
Yep.
One more thing that people need to be aware of, that starting in 2027, anybody with a citizen's property insurance policy will be forced to pay flood insurance, even if you're not in a flood zone. So be prepared. It's 3-some years away, but that passes by real fast. And a lot of the homes here in Bronson are old enough that they're either on TAPCO or Citizens. And this is going to be an impact. This is why we also need the sewer to be going to these communities, because we need to lay down the pipe even if they don't connect. Because I guarantee you that within the next 5 years, all these homes down Pine Street, Virginia, all of that, those septics, they're going to be bursting. And it's going to cost them $15,000 to replace, which they don't have. At that point in time, they can hook up to the sewer line. And more than likely, Citizens is going to force them to be on central sewer. Otherwise, they're going to have to go with TAPCO and Lloyd's of London, which is 5 times more the amount than Citizens. So this is something to be, because Robert brought it up when you guys were talking about the fire assessment and the sewer. These are things that we need to. I know that there's a lot of people with poverty and Bronson is poor, but I guarantee you, one of those septic tanks go, it's going to be a domino effect. A lot of these homes are from the 60s and 70s. those septic tanks will be going to sewer.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for that, headache.
Well, it's just reality. Sorry, it's not my. I didn't do it. I promise. Right. Okay, and then the last one was I just wanted the council to have. So last week's conference was the Florida City and County Managers Association in Orlando, and one of the things that they reminded us of, the national chapter, which is the International County Managers Association, has a code of ethics, and there's 12 tenets to the code of ethics. I won't read them, but they are in your packet. Just want to make sure that everybody had them, because that is what I, as a chief administrative officer, have to fall under. So I won't bore you with them, but I wanted to put them in your packet anyway. So there you go.
So speaking on ethics,
Yes.
do they still give the classes over in Chiefland? And do all the council members know that they have to take it every year?
I don't know if they're doing the classes in Chiefland. I don't know if they've done them since I've been here. They've been online,
I've
right?
been online since after COVID, yeah.
Yeah. And we did talk, I mean, we had a whole session. I had to do a whole 4 hours on ethics, and they did mention that, you know, the council has to do them. So, yes, I mean, I always send those
Okay,
out.
with that being said, I'm going to stop this, and then we're going to bring Mr. Freely up and let him get his award.
Freddie Freeman was nominated for Student of the Month by Ms. Pender. And I am honored that I get to present this to him. He's one of my favorite boys.
Aww.
And he just came from basketball practice.
Yeah.
Yes, please excuse him.
You're
No, his mama gonna
excused.
be
You're
mad.
excused for that.
Because he don't get to dress up for this, but I don't want to miss it.
I'll wait for the newspaper.
Did you send that picture to Hardison so he can approve it?
Thank y'all.
Yes, yes, I will.
Congratulations, Rick.
Thank you.
All right. Curtis.
Thanks, we got a couple of things. This quote for the gutters for this building. One is from A1 Aluminum, one is from Workman. Sue was talking, when you was talking to Workman today about the footage, I think the footage may be a little bit different. I added up A1 Aluminum is broken down into two parts. First part is 2,900, the second part is 1,850. The first part, A1 aluminum, 240 cubic feet, that is for the gutter. And then the second part is for the soffit in 4-inch porcelain. Please.
Misty, do you know what the gutters on this property originally?
Not originally.
Okay. Or, I mean, the gutters who they're right now, but you don't know who they're from?
Did you check with Community Roofing?
Gainesville, Charles Levy?
Gainesville, because when it was actually draining down the walls and
Yeah.
the windows,
Yeah.
he came out and did some work, so check with him.
Check them out. Okay.
He would have had A1 aluminum.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll double check.
All right, we need y'all have any other questions concerning this?
Okay, so this one that says Workman, this has got to be added together, right? The 5,000 plus the
Yeah, it'd be
29,
$8,000,
and the other one is 47.
$4,700 for fascia and gutters.
So here's the biggest difference. I'll just kind of give you guys an idea. Sorry, Curtis. I'll take over for a second. The reason I asked Curtis to look at Workman, they actually put the gutters on my own house. They're really good. And we're not really comparing apples and apples here, because when Workman came out, they measured by their laser pointer and went all the way around. So you can see that the linear feet is different, the cubic feet is different. So we're not really comparing apples and apples. What Worthman has told me, though, is if we're interested in only doing what A1 is quoting, they'll do that as well. They will match whatever we want. I don't have any personal experience with A1. I don't know if anybody does, but they do a 25-year paint and material warranty and a 2-year labor warranty, and they do a really good job. I mean, that's the only reason I had Curtis look at them and A1.
They don't have the same footage, the same.
Right. Yeah. So Worthman went all the way around the building, and A1, I guess, maybe just looking at it now.
396 feet worth, and
Right.
A1 is 240.
Right.
Just figuring with that.
And the Worthman quote has this debris blocking gutter screens, which we don't have to do. Again, A1 didn't include that. It was just something
Keep it
to
from
stop this.
keep it
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but when we were at the library cleaning up, what's his face? God, I just lost his name. Kyle Durden was up there and literally took like his hand and went like this in the gutter and was like taking stuff out of there. It was pretty gross. So I was like, ooh, would be nice to have those.
So the screen over this, it's like there's a commercial for it now that it goes over the top of it, and there's just the water goes down.
Right. The pictures are in here too. Councilor Sherwood, if you want to see them. They kind of explain the way they look.
All right, what's the pleasure of the council then?
I would rather have a more realistic vote from Worthman. Since we don't really know what we're voting for.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you just want Worthman to do what A1 has quoted, they'll do it for the same price. They'll honor their price. If you just want to do what they're quoting you. Or you can go with A1.
I'm thankful before we bid because it won't be fair. Then we need to just send it out and send them the same footage. Because we're looking at Workman now, and if they're gonna look and see what we're gonna give them what aluminum is saying, and then they're gonna say, well, we're gonna beat it. That's not right. So
On here for Workman, it says how much it is, what the price is per foot. It doesn't say that on the other one. So then if we knew how much, then that would make it fair.
Get both on the same thing.
Like you want a breakdown, you mean, from A1? Like they're breaking it down on Workman, you mean? Yeah, because they did the unit price at like...
How
So
is
the
it?
only two bids that came in, A1 or what?
So this isn't all the way around the building. This is, right,
First one is.
See, but I don't know, I told them all.
go around the building.
Yeah.
So the square footage should be the same.
So when you look at the square footage, the 240 is 150.
So do we need a new estimate
We
from
probably
A1?
need to get on the same page, tell them,
Yeah.
give them all both the same information. This is what we want. Can you give us a bid?
Yeah. I'd rather.
I mean, you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Well, because here's the thing. Let's say we go with A1 and they say, oh, if you said 240, but when we got up there, it was really like
396,
340.
right.
So now you either want to do all of it or you just want to stop with what you said you agreed to. So we'd rather have, whatever the agreement is, it needs to be for the amount that we need. So somebody's calculation is not right. So we need to have, you need to have a correct calculation so it's the same thing.
If you use the figures they have here, based on what he had here, A1 is $12.80 a foot, and they are $8,
Just $8.
$8 a foot. But are we talking apples to apples?
No, because their $8 a foot is with this. Oh no, never mind, because the screen that's
separate.
Never mind.
what do we want? Do we want the gutters only, or the gutters, soffit, and fascia?
Safe soffit and fascia probably need to be replaced too. Is probably
That's what I'm saying. So
they're
that
hanging new stuff. They might as well hang it all.
Right.
So we should let Workman know that that's what we want also. The gutters, the soffit, and fascia. Just
Well, you
give
got
us a
the-
price. Just
You get the
We wanna
soffit and
see-
fascia on the next page.
yeah.
with Workman?
If you look at it there.
Fascia, metal.
You've got the fascia and the soffit. It's just broken down separately.
Separately, yeah.
Right. I mean, they both broke it out separately. The fascia and the soffit's actually very comparable between them. What's different is the gutters themselves.
5,000.
Right.
That's
4,000
This is-
versus 3,000.
Bruce.
I think that with all those questions, probably the very safe thing to do would be you bid the project and make sure that everybody's getting the apples to apples comparison. If you do it any other way and you try to make things work for one that might put a little bit more paint on the problem, then you're going to have a problem for this town. That's not
Get a
really
set of
gonna work.
specs that you can give to them and go from
That's what I'm
there.
saying. So we want the gutters, the faces, and the soffit.
Okay, that's
Here,
your question.
one price to do it all from each one of the companies.
And with these, with the trees that are around still, we might as well tell them to go ahead and add the
What, the screens?
debris stuff.
The screens?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
If you got trees, you might as well add
So
the
that
debris.
ends up leading to.
Yes.
Might as well, yeah. If you don't get up there and clean it every once a month, then seams gonna start rusting out. Might as well add the debris stuff.
And what about the downspouts?
Yeah, you
Workman's
gotta
got the
have
so
downspouts on
basically
there
four
too.
different things: the gutters, the soffit, the faces, and the debris.
Debris fields, downspouts. You gotta have downspouts.
Yeah, so your A1's definitely going to go up.
2 or 3 more companies so that you can get a larger.
Well, you bid
We
it.
can only
See
get-
whatever
we
you
can
want
only
to
get what
answer.
gives
That's
us.
the answers, yeah.
Let's engage them. All right. You good?
I'm good. I just want to know what you all want.
We'll go out to rebid.
So that we can tell both companies the same, they get the same information, nobody get anything different.
All right.
So you said gutters, downspouts, the screens,
Full shebang.
the fascia. So basically you like the Worthman quote, but you want the A1 quote to be apples to
we did a
apples.
whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of them said they were replacing more fascia too.
Oh, and what the warranty is on A1.
Okay.
We have a warranty for the other one.
Warranty
Yeah,
on,
so I need to know how good, how long that's good.
Okay.
Good. Second thing is blue energy vegetation management. I've looked over the email. I guess what we want to do is go and spray around the lights, power lines, power poles. And I think it's a company, it's a group, I guess, that are opposed to them using herbicide. Some found that it causes cancer and other things. So, but I guess it is for the council to decide if they want to want them to go ahead and spray.
Yes.
It's for each town to decide, each council to decide.
I want them.
Any questions? Anybody?
I mean, do y'all have the email in your package?
Yeah, it says whatever they use is approved by the EPA.
Right.
All chemicals sold got to be approved by the EPA.
Right.
They probably.
I say let them go with it. You know, I mean, this helps their job. And I mean, that's, anybody else got any questions or anything on that?
No.
You good? Okay.
And don't forget they're doing the well drilling at Cap City tomorrow, so you'll see some walking traffic on. No, not the pipeline.
That's just the monitor well.
Okay. While you're standing there, we'll go back and notice we did receive one of the pieces of equipment. We got our tractor and everything, the new tractor and everything is there, so if y'all want to look at that, it is actually being used, as we say, and it's going to be great help to us. The excavator is in Chiefland right now. We will be receiving it Thursday, about the same time. And the new gator is also there, waiting on paperwork on it. So everything's looking
Are
good.
you able to park them in that, or we have to wait until all this
Yeah,
stuff
we
gets done?
need them to move so we can have some equipment parked.
That's gonna be the next question. Don't worry about that.
Yes, we're fixing to expedite that.
We got new stuff to go on the parade.
You heard about
Yeah,
that?
ride that tractor.
Yeah.
What's this? Hold up on the CO. Railings.
All right.
That was last week. I don't know what this week is.
Dennis is not here, and Tyler, you got anything to say about anything from there?
No.
All right.
I have a question. Yes, Kyle. Update on the transportation for the office land.
Oh, I was gonna ask about
Update on the transportation.
Oh, for the them. I got some stuff from David Chevrolet was supposed to email me some stuff over. I got some that were used from some prices and stuff, but they were all higher than what I know they want to
So
pay.
I got a nice quote from Davis of Chevrolet, and he didn't email it to me.
Exactly.
It was just
I'm
over
waiting
the
on
phone, and it was for a 2023 Chevy Trailblazer for like, it was super cheap.
He told me, he told me a good price on the phone, but he ain't emailed me nothing
Yeah,
I
and
can
I
see.
gave him my email address. He didn't email me. That's actually what I was going to ask about.
Darn it.
So why don't you just follow up with that?
Yeah.
And ask me to fax it to you.
Have you found anything?
I have not, but one of the vendors at the conference last week was from the Florida Sheriff's Association, which is where we get all of our trucks from. And I was telling him about our issues with the dealership we've been, dealing with over in Jacksonville. And he said, "Sue, there's a whole list of, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Well, I need that list, so I need to follow up with him. I haven't had a chance to. I will follow up with him."
There's a big dealership I drove by in Georgia that does commercial. Like they had probably 500 cop cars sitting out there ready to roll. But they had a whole bunch of stuff. I think it was Brandon.
Did we check to see what
Brandon
the school
Ford.
board
I did. Chris Cowart talked to me.
Mr. Warren, you got anything?
Nope, I made my contributions tonight.
Thank you, sir. Committee reports. I just did my little spiel there, got all the stuff to get in, and we got into that other stuff. Miss Virginia, you got anything to say?
No, I didn't want to ask. I was going to ask about that, though, about your...
I have not forgotten about it.
Yes.
I haven't either. That dude
I was
just,
thinking, like, oh my goodness.
who'd you talk to up there?
I'm not sure.
I talked to Rick, and he never emailed me back.
I just talked to him like 3 days ago, and I was like, well, send me the stuff on the email. Because I actually specifically told him to send me the stuff about the Trailblazer because it was such a good deal.
Yeah.
And it was brand new. It wasn't used.
They got a whole bunch of stuff up there.
But also, do we need volunteers for the 43 hours? Are we going
Probably
to
always use volunteers.
Yes.
We'll figure it out. We'll find something.
Can we get community service hours for the kids?
Yeah.
I'll sign it.
Okay.
I was gonna ask Bruce. When you work for the transportation for a school, do you know where they get their cars from?
Everything we purchase through state contract.
So we still would have the same problem of being backed up?
That was the problem.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Yes.
fire department. Anything on that? We
Nothing.
do need to, and I know you
Waiting
will.
on figuring out what's up with the CO.
Okay. So what is our latest on our CO?
I don't know. I wasn't in last Wednesday, so I will be this Wednesday.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
All right. Ms. Sherry?
We have letters going out tomorrow to ask any churches, youth groups, businesses, non-profit organizations about doing family-friendly activities for the 4th of July. I'm working with Sue on making sure we have music and everything set up, and also inviting anybody who wants to perform and 5 or 6 food trucks already responded and said that they wanted to be part of it. The Youth League is having a meeting on Monday, the 12th, out at the park in the Portable at 6 o'clock, I think.
I think it was.
Yep.
And they're say that they're open to all ideas. Anybody who has anything that they want to contribute or say, it's an open forum. And I think that's it.
Good.
It's actually 6:30. My bad. It said 6:30.
Mr. Frank?
Yeah, I just like to say that they're doing a good job on keeping the cemetery cut. And they had come and cut it just before Mother's Day, and they cut it the day too, I think. I heard about it.
Yeah, they did.
They was out there today?
Yeah. Yeah, you heard it?
I ain't want to be anything.
Yeah, you're right.
So they're doing a pretty good job of that, and we appreciate whatever they can do to make our cemetery look decent. And I never did get to the library yet, so where I'm going.
Well, I can talk about the work day. The work day that we have for the library. was pretty good. We moved some things around, increased they have a chalk wall in there where the kids can actually write on the wall and erase it. So we kind of increased it and made it bigger so that there's more space for that. And moved some stuff around, and then we're gonna change the lights. Kyle, right? Right, was here, and he actually did all the windows outside and cleaned off the gutters. So there is still a lot of other stuff that needs to be done, but it was a step. So I think that what we're gonna have to do is on the next improvement day, we're gonna need to do there as well. By then the lights should be changed, but it just needs some work. And you can tell it's a whole new building.
Like you ordered the lights.
Oh, and Tyler painted. I forgot about that.
He did paint.
He painted.
I
So
hate painting.
there were some areas in there where it was like the same wall might have been 4 different colors. And I'm sorry, maybe I got OCD, but that was bothering me. So they changed it so it kind of looks like, it's not like a rainbow colored area. It's, I don't know, it looks better. So we did a lot of work on that kind of stuff. Yes.
All right. Thank you all for your efforts. And we have any other public participation? Have you had an opportunity to review the bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills.
The properly moved and second, pay the bills. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion carries. And meeting adjourned.